I first met Dan when he was busking at Luton railway station. I was inspired by the sound of his beautiful music, played on an instrument that I had never seen or heard before. It's called a handpan. I asked Dan if he would travel to North Wales to perform his music in the beautiful surroundings of the area's unique landscape. He agreed. Dan, hi.
Andrew.
And 3 months later, we met up on the platform of another railway, the Ffestiniog railway, based at Porthmadog. As the weather was unfortunately damp and miserable, we decided to set up camp in the famous Spooner's Grill, Cafe and Bar. I asked why he busked.
As a musician, you know, sometimes it's hard to get continuous work like gigs and events, and busking I can do anytime, anywhere. And you know, the street's my stage, so I can go and play, and you know, I can earn money and let people hear my music anywhere. I'm actually a percussionist, and I saw handpan a number of years ago online, and when I heard the sound, I just fell in love with it.
Do you find that that's better than waiting for the phone to ring to get booked for a gig or something on your percussion side?
It's much less hassle. I feel more free, you know, so to just go out and play my music, I can do it on my own terms.
How easy is it? How difficult do you get moved on? Because I think the general consensus opinion that when you see a busker in the street that they're a homeless person.
Yeah, you do get that stereotype sometimes, which is a shame. I've actually had a lot of people coming up to me and being like, oh, are you okay? You know, do you want me to buy you food and things like that? Have you got places to stay? And I often explain to people, you know, I'm actually fine. I'm just a self-employed musician, but I choose to busk because you know, you can't get a gig every day. You know, you might not have work every day, and you need to make money. You know, and also over the years, I've learned to just love travelling around and playing music.
By bringing Dan to Wales, I was hoping that the stark contrast between his normal urban environment and these more relaxing surroundings would inspire him. It did.
We just set up on the platform and started playing, and I think we got quite a good reception really. People enjoyed it. It was nice to play, you know, in such a scenic place with the steam train. Because it's quite a new instrument, people seem to be quite fascinated with it because, you know, it sounds nice and they haven't seen it before.
And what is a handpan exactly? What's its origins?
In about the year 2000, a Swiss couple travelled to Trinidad and Tobago where the steel pan is made, and they'd studied it. And what they set out to make a portable steel pan that you could, you know, take around. You know, it was more portable, slightly different sounds, and you know, you could play with your hands. And they came up with the handpan.
Are there lots of buskers around?
Everywhere, yeah, everywhere. I mean, busking is like, well, you know, age-old. Like when you think of like you just going out and playing music in a public space for people to enjoy. I mean, yeah, it happens everywhere.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can now.
Yeah, jolly good.
I had arranged to interview one of the railway volunteers, so Dan decided to have a look around the station shop. Despite the poor conditions, it had been quite a successful start to the shoot. The next day, after a restful night's sleep, the weather changed for the better. It was great to see the week wasn't going to be a complete washout. A wonderful, bright autumnal day in the countryside, just what we needed. I had agreed that as well as filming my own footage for my mini documentaries about the Ffestiniog Railway, that I would shoot a music promotional video for Dan. First, we had to record the tracks that he had especially improvised for our films, inspired by his new surroundings. And marker. Track successfully recorded, it was time to head outside. Thank you, clear. Dan had to get used to the idea of playing along with his own recorded music. I don't think he was too happy about that. Get the reflector in, please. This was his first time on location, and he soon realised that there was a lot of fiddling about and hanging around. He was probably wondering what he'd let himself in for. That's getting a bit bright, yeah. It's going to be, if it gets too bright, he's going to start squinting. Ah, is that too bright now?
That's okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Right, let me turn over. Thank you. Dan says he gets in the zone when he is playing. He is certainly very passionate about his music. Dan, if you could go right up the road near the vehicle and just walk. I don't think he was expecting all this ordering about. No, it'd be fine. Well, that's directors for you. I didn't mean for him to go that far. I hope he comes back. Okay, go back. So I can't see that stuff. The day was going well. Time for a few publicity stills. Okay, enough of all that. On to day 2, and yes, more water, but oh dear, the rain and wind are back. Only to be expected, really. Dan just wants to get on with performing. Even more waiting around. And then there's health and safety to think about as well.
Okay. I'm just going to have to...
I don't want you flying in the river.
I think it's quite stable, yeah.
The hand pan itself is very sensitive to changes in temperature. Great care is taken with it. Even more water, a few Welsh sheep, still with the umbrella, and a rocky outcrop is another location. Still windy, but at least the rain has stopped. Dan finally gets time to relax and play the music he loves in the expanse of black rock sands. Dan is turning out to be quite a star. He loved it there amongst the dunes. I left him to get back in his zone to seek out some urban graffiti on the beach of all places. This was the last location for Dan's promo video. A good end of a damp day too. But all turned out well, although we are all rather tired. And here is the end result of all our efforts. Wow, that was great. Thanks, Dan. Back at the station, I asked him if he ever played with other musicians.
Playing with other musicians has mainly been a bit of handpan, but mainly been like with percussion and drums and stuff. But if a musician's already written a track, my handpan might not have the right notes or enough of the right notes to go with it. But if I'm sitting down with a musician and we work out something to play around with the notes that are on the handpan, that usually works better. Like I've got a friend who plays guitar, and he's very good, and like he can sort of like just play things from here. Like I'll pick out something on the handpan and he'll just know, you know, he's a really good musician.
Keen to collaborate with others in the area, he made some inquiries and found a local publican who wrote his own material, played guitar and sang. Promising.
My name's Hugh Roberts, people know me as Hugh Al, down here in North Wales. I run this pub, The Oak, have been for nearly a year now. I'm a part-time musician. I'm in a Welsh band called Yr Amgen. I've got a bit of history with Welsh music. I used to be in a band called Gwirioneddol years back in my teens. But now, yeah, I've started a couple of projects lately. One English project, which is a bit of an indie band. We've just recorded the first single now, well, not long ago, which is not even out properly yet. But my Welsh project at Amgen, which is the song I've been jamming today. The song's called Ffestiniog, which means a sad story, and that's just been released on the radio a couple of months back. So that's currently in play. Pawb I weld yn brysur a ma' mhenni yn y baw. A'r unig lle I droi ydi cwmni fi fy hun. Siawns bod newid o ymlaen. O ymlaen. Ddim ar gael, a pawb I weld yn brysur a ma' mhenni yn y baw. A'r unig lle I droi ydi cwmni fi fy hun. Siawns bod newid o ymlaen.
One very happy Dan. We hope to make films with other musicians. Please get in touch if you're interested, and look out for my other films online. Thanks for watching.